So it's that time again. It's Saturday night and it's live with my family, guys. I hope everyone's well. Let's get this connected to the charger and make sure it doesn't die like last time. So last time we were having a really good chat when the phone just died in the middle of that. I thought I had it plugged in, but obviously not. So let's see if a few people come on and join us. While I'm doing that, let's get this up on the big screen so I can see what's going on. Frank's here. Frank, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. We've got Ray. How are you doing, Ray? Thanks very much for coming in. Michael Stone, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hamza, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. How is everyone today? How's everyone's weeks been? Atomic Musty, wa alaikum assalam. Isabel, thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping well. Yeah, we're not bad. We're not bad over here. We're having a little party today, so we've been quite busy. It's been crazy here at the moment. Zaki turned 3, so it's been quite. We're all full up on food and cake. Jamila Yang is here. Wa alaikum assalam. Rahman Rajam. Assalamu alaikum. I'm all right. How are you doing? Spicy, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Just cutting the tomatoes leaves off. Nice. Davey, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Um, it's been good. I had a few days in the Lake District this week. Oh, that must have been nice. Where did you stay? Were you in a one of those B and B's up there, or where were you staying? And what was the weather like out there at the moment? Spent all day giving garden and autumn tidy. We need to do that. A hedge. We need to give that hedge a last cut for the winter. Get it ready. Uh, it's yeah. It's looking a little bit untidy at the moment. But I didn't get outside today. We were busy with this party for little Zaki. And then straight after that, I don't know what happened. I fell asleep for a bit. I must be getting old. I had some food and now I needed a nap. So, Atomic Musty, I'm very good, thank you very much. Yeah, so a fun day today. So we got Zaki a little race car, a little remote control racing car. So he's been whizzing about with that all day. Mike Pope, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Uh, Izzy Gardener's World clip available on YouTube. I think the series, do you know, the episode of Gardener's World is on. I mean, I haven't put it on. Yeah, I haven't put it on, but the episode's on YouTube somewhere. And it's just at the end of that. Blending on Ullswater. We had a we had use of a large caravan. The first two days the weather was great, and then the heavens opened up on Wednesday. Um, it was a few days ago here that it was just almighty rain. It was absolutely bonkers. It felt like monsoon season over here, but without the heat. How do you get rid of termites in a garden? Any ideas on getting rid of termites? Have you got? Are they in the soil or whereabouts are they? Have you got access to animals like chickens and stuff like that that can help break up that pest cycle, eat some of the grubs? Ashley, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Uh, I filled my new raised bed with free topsoil and kitchen scraps and planted about 50 Japanese onions and hardneck garlic in the new raised bed after watching your videos. Nice one. How deep's your raised bed? Free's always good. Free is always good. See what you've done. Do you know when you lined like that? You've just done what gardeners used to do with something called trench composting. So yeah, if you 9 inch deep, that's perfect depth for that. You fill that with kitchen scraps and then topped it off with soil. That'll be nutritious for a good while to come. Because all that'll break down next year once you've pulled your garlic and your onions in the late spring, early summer. You can plant. You'll be able to plant squash or something like that straight into it. Um, Good dog, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Autumn started here too. I've bought a plot of land, 900 meters squared. I'll be busy. Uh, we'll be busy. Is it worth trying to make shoots from my berry bushes? I think it's definitely worth trying to make some cuttings from your berry bushes. If you've got 900 square meters, that's going to be a nice growing area. That um, I think you'll be able to get a lot in there. Fruit trees, your Do you know if you layer your plantings, so use the height. So get the fruit trees at the back, where they're not causing too much shade, but also plant them in a position where you can try and block some. If it's an exposed site, use any fruit trees that you plant to block any winds that are coming in. Uh, and then get your cuttings in as well. But yeah, I'm going to be taking cuttings from a lot of berry bushes this autumn. So when I do my prunings on things like red currants and black currants, and things like that, I'll take lots and lots of cuttings from them. From any of the cuttings that I get, we'll just use for cuttings. Uh, yeah. Um, Use topsoil, seaweed, kitchen scraps, and topped off with multi-purpose compost. That'll be a nice bed. That'll turn into a really nice bed. Um, Ashley's got tomato blight. I think it's coming to that time where a lot of people are getting hit by tomato blight. One of the things I've been quite lucky so far. We haven't been hit by blight. What I've been doing is, I keep my tomato plants. Um, the foliage on my tomato plants next to nothing, apart from a few growing leaves and a few leaves down the plant. Most of the foliage I just trim away, and it's like a single stalk with tomatoes on it. Uh, and that and that yeah, that normally this season it's worked a lot better than in the past. So far we haven't been hit with blight, and we've been getting ripe tomatoes. Even now we've got a few ripe tomatoes on the bush. Cuttings. How are you going to take your cuttings? Find a stem. Um, Anything that what I normally do is when we're about to prune the bushes back. So anything that I prune off, and then take a stem about a pencil thick, or your little as thick as your little finger. Keep about 3, 4 buds on it, and then just keep that. It's literally peel off all the leaves, stick it in a tub of soil. If you take about 10 cuttings, half of them normally take. So you should from 10 cuttings of stuff that you're about to throw away, you could end up with 5 new plants. I normally have about a 50% success rate like that. Um, Carter's E is here. Lisa, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping well. I hope everything is going nice over at your end of the woods, and your family's great. I collected seaweed from a few weeks ago and dried it, chopped it up by hand with a pair of scissors. Um, how much seaweed did you get? Because I'm nowhere near the sea. Um, so if we ever get out, if we ever get out to the seaside at summer, I normally come back with a couple of carry bags full of seaweed that I pick up off the beach. And then what I do with that is I turn that into liquid fertilizer, and just so it lasts a lot longer, rather than um, if I buried it, I'd only be able to use it for so much space. But if you turn it into liquid feed, I can stretch out most of the season. Uh, Frank, I'm up to 10 ripe tomatoes now. That's not bad. See, we got lots of ripe tomatoes quite early. I planted my tomatoes in January, and a lot of them were really, really leggy. And quite a few people told me that I've made a huge mistake and they're not going to take and they're not going to do anything. So what I did was, with tomato plants that sort of 10 inches tall, I took a 2 litre Coke bottle, cut the top off, and then just planted all but the growing tip into the soil and let them grow up again. And when I was ready to plant out, there were, the whole bottle had filled with roots. Um, so yeah, it was an absolute, yeah. So we've had a good season with tomatoes. Ian Matthews, how are you keeping? How's Yorkshire? Come on, folks, hit the likes. It really does help. Yes, please. If you can hit that like for me, that'd be really good. Um, my plot is 300 meters from the sea. Definitely will be collecting seaweed from above normal sea. If you get if you can get seaweed, it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Britain has, especially the coastal region of, the farming. Britain has a long history of using seaweed as fertilizer across a lot of the farmland, and it's magical stuff. It really does supercharge your garden. We're about 10 miles from the sea near Dean's Loss of plot, so I can get more and make liquid fertilizer as suggest. Ah, okay, so 10 miles not far at all. I mean, I think the nearest beach where we go up to is Skegness, and it takes about an hour and a half ish to get there. So we probably get out there once a year or something. We didn't get out obviously this year because of everything that's going on. Yusuf Baizir, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much for coming in. How are you keeping? Have you managed to order your strawberry plants yet? Douglas James, hi mate, what can I do with my ginger plants? They're outside, no greenhouse. I have around 40. Wow. How big? First of all, how big are your plants? What size pots are they in? And how much space have you got inside? If you've got nice big, if you've got nice big ginger plants, then if you've got 40, I'd say harvest quite a lot of them. I mean, you'll get some small ginger from a lot of them, and bring, if you're able to, some of them in the smaller pots, bring them inside and overwinter them. You'll see them die back around December, January time, but they'll come back up if you keep them warm and you keep them frost free and you keep them don't keep them waterlogged. They'll come back again in May time. They'll start putting up shoots and start growing again. And I think I'm about to fall behind in the chat again. Let's see if I can keep up. I've been doing all right so far, haven't I? All mine are still green. Still had lots of leaves, but not much fruit. But I'm enjoying trying. Um, don't worry if you do you know with the green tomatoes, you'll see them start to change color a little bit. They won't go red, but they'll go from the shiny green that they are to a slightly paler green or a darker green, and that's them looking like they're about to change. So if they get to that stage, you can snip them off and bring them in, and they'll ripen inside. um, Not been a good season for me. Cauliflower went to seed along with calabrese, and sprouts are blown, and now blight. Not been able to do a video for my channel as I feel disheartened. I mean, don't gardens go wrong. I mean, this year's been absolutely horrible. In For the weather, the weather's been absolutely mental. So a lot of us have suffered. I mean, I thought I'd have a bumper year with bottle gourds this year, because bottle gourds, for me, it's a real staple, and it's something that sees me through a lot of it's what a lot of my channel was built on as well early on, and growing those kind of things is a staple for us in our diet. And this year I think we've harvested about 7 or 8, whereas with the amount of plants that I planted and how early on I grew them, I thought I'd be in for an absolute bumper crop this year. But the winds have battered them. My cucurbits have been my bottle gourd plants have look like they've been hit with blight. Some of them have completely died. The weather's just not been warm enough at night time. So yeah, I feel your pain in terms of things not going the same way. I've discovered allium white rot on my garden, and that can last in the soil for 20 plus years. So don't give up. Just, I mean, even if you do a video on how things have gone wrong, um, some people actually like watching things go wrong. Uh, I've noticed when I put a video out with things that have gone wrong, people actually like that sort of stuff. They like to see me fail. David, just give it time to leach out the salt. Great idea. Da, da, da. Best not. No, best not to take live seaweed. Absolutely. I mean, just um, when the sea in the UK is too cold for me to go in and fetch out what seaweed, so I always pick it up off the beach, the little broken bits. Um, do you think seaweed will be composted by next spring? Seaweed can be really quick to break down. I mean, especially over winter when it freezes and thaws out, it'll be gone. Yeah. Um, Suffolk Susie, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Um, Tim, thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping well. Um, Soak the seaweed in water, rinsed it off a couple of times. That's what I do. Um, Richard W. Just wanted to say how much I've enjoyed your videos. Discovered by chance, very inspiring. Our daughter-in-law has chickens, so I've asked her to keep them near for me. Turbo composting. Get the chick if you can try and convince her to turn her coop into a compost pile for you, then you're onto a winner. If you ever see my chicken composting videos, I just throw a lot of my rubbish. Well, I say rubbish. A lot of wood chips, a lot of grass peeling, grass cuttings, a lot of hedge trimmings and stuff onto the run of the chicken run, and let the chickens do their scratching and everything, and turn that into compost for me there, and then sift it off. And every sort of 6 to 8 weeks, you can end up with a ton bag full of compost just from them being chickens, and you're not having to actually do any work. I've really struggled with growing radishes. Can't get them to bulb up. A couple of things: is the soil nice and loose? Um, Not too much nitrogen, and give them yeah, not too much nitrogen. Then they're not that picky about nutrition. To be honest with you, that's what I've found. They don't need an absolutely really nutritious soil or need lots and lots of feed either. If you give them, especially if you give them a high nitrogen feed, they're just going to leaf up. So loose soil is an important one for them. Um, no one had a good cauliflower down south. I mean, I don't grow cauliflower, so I'm not an expert on them. I've grown cabbages a few years. I've got some more cabbages and stuff planted this year, but it's not something that I'd say that I really know what I'm doing with them. Excess nitrogen. Drops Family Garden coming in with a brilliant comment. Excess nitrogen in soil and neutral acidity will also slow the forming of radishes. A common cause of radishes not growing bulbs is overcrowding. Yeah, overcrowding is a big issue. So if you as soon as the seedlings start come up, start thinning them out. What time is best to take the cuttings from grapes? Got some great twin spurs that I want to try and spur pruning, not just the cane. Again, on grapes, I'm not a brilliant one. I'm not one that is willing to advise. Well, I don't have the knowledge to advise you on grapes, so I'm not. If anyone can help out with the grapes, that'd be really good. I recently bought some red wriggler worms and started a worm compost bin. That'll be fantastic, Davey. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Because composting worms, red wrigglers are surface feeders. You know, like our ordinary earthworms, they sort of burrow um, up. They burrow up and down, but red wrigglers sort of burrow feed at the surface. So anything that the red wrigglers poop out from the food that they've brought down, the normal earthworms will eat that. So there's a lot of nutrition in the manure from composting worms. So fantastic. Check your soil pH and nutrients. You can get a soil testing kit. Where'd you get the worms from, Davey? Um, I mean, you can get them online. Fishing shops sell them. So if you've got a fishing shop nearby, they normally sell them quite a lot. Um, Gardeners sell them. I mean, if you can't find them, I'll send you some out. I just need the time to harvest my compost. So if you can't find them, then let me know. Thanks for the heads up on the radishes, but I've been growing the radishes in multi-purpose compost. If you're growing them in multi-purpose compost, mix some sand in with it, and that helps. Uh, David, you grow spuds in tubs. I've had blight, mildew, every critter working against me, and I loved it. Loved it all. Very happy with my harvest. I'm tearing down now less one melon and possibly Brussels sprout plant. See, Susie, that's awesome. That you know, sometimes as a gardener, you've just got to accept things aren't going to work, and I like that. I really like that. Brilliant. Sufia Zia wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much for coming in. Yeah, we're all right. We're all right over here. We've been well, I've been stuffing my face with cake. Zaki had his third birthday, so we've had a little party. Uh, yeah, it's been fun times. Uh, Still time. Is it too late to plant some spuds out for Christmas? Um, I don't think it is. I think you're pushing it, but I think you'd still get away with it. I think the thing that's going to work against you is the shorter days. What I've done is up until the last week of August, I was planting potatoes. So I planted potatoes in tubs. Um, I've got a couple more pots to harvest, which I'm going to do probably tomorrow. And if I harvest them tomorrow, then I'm going to straight away plant some more into those tubs. But as soon as the plants come up, what I'll do is if I see it getting too cold, when I pull stuff out of the greenhouse, I'll take the tubs into the greenhouse and keep them there, and try and keep them frost free so the frost doesn't get them. So if you can give them some shelter, then I think you can extend your season a bit longer. Uh, so so Mike Hamza there. Mike's saying autumn for grape cuttings. They rarely fail. Uh, Ashley's a lot more to grow zone. People need to mention their grow zones when asking questions. Um, Drop. It's one of the issues that we have over here. I think we're about we range between all the way from a 6 to a 7 to a 8ish, but we don't really use grow zones over here. Um, I think where Ashley is, you're a bit down south, so you'd be bordering about 7A, 8ish. Um, what time of year to take to propagate the cutting will help will be greatly appreciated. So I think Mike offered a suggestion of autumn being a good time for it. Uh, Desiree potatoes are absolutely brilliant. I mean, if you've got earlies will work better at this time of year than main crop. Main crop will grow, but because the potatoes take a bit longer to mature, you're not gonna have you'll probably get some egg-sized potatoes, whereas you might be able to get away with the the earlies getting closer to the size that early should be. Um, Anyone tried bokashi? I tried bokashi very early on when I started when I moved to this house, and I didn't like it. It just felt like too much work. Uh, I can do the same thing without doing the bokashi bit. So I can take my kitchen scraps and I can just bury them, and they'll pretty much. You know, once you start doing that, once you start burying kitchen scraps into your garden, what'll happen is loads and loads of worms will just turn up. They'll just turn up like magic, and you'll find soon enough you can just empty everything out into the garden, and it'll be gone in a matter of no time because the worm population is so established. Uh, I read somewhere that shop bought garlic is often Mediterranean varieties and not suitable for growing here. What do you think, Richard? I've always grown bought variety. I've always grown shop grown garlic. I've never grown the specialist seed sets. I mean, I normally plant about 10 kilos of garlic. So because I'm planting so much, I can get for 10 kilos of garlic. I can probably it'll cost me about 25 poundish, 30 poundish for 10 kilos. Whereas if I bought that 10 kilos of garlic for the specialist seed stuff, I'd be spending close to £100. So it doesn't work. So I've always grown shop bought garlic. It's always done well for me. It's always just done fine. Uh, just seen an advert for Yorkshire Works online. What's Yorkshire Works? But Yorkshire does work. I'm seeing Nick's allotment diary come in, and I think I'm way away from the comment. So Nick, apologies for my I'm being way behind in the chat. I hope you're keeping well. Um, and it's nice to see you. And if anyone doesn't know Nick's allotment diary, go and say hello to him. He's one of the yeah, along with Frank, Nick. They're some of my Patreons, and they look after me as well. So yeah. Um, Davies, save the spent compost for radishes and carrots. That's a good tip. Give it a sift off so it's nice and loose. Apparently, worms love. Good dog. I think worms just love anything. Do you know anything organic? If there's food in it, if it sometimes when it's rotten and smelly, they'll love it. That was cool. Say hello. You okay? Okay, good. Um,
I'm gonna make a comic book I saw in the Loud House.
okay. Does anyone know when to harvest sweet potatoes? Now I suppose it's getting chilly. I'd say any time before it starts getting too cold for the plants to, because as soon as it starts getting cold, the plants are going to really struggle. They're a warm climate plant. I did some roasted onions, beets, butternut squash yesterday. So good. Um, what are you doing? Stop doing that. Come and sit up with you if you want to join in. Um, but don't. You know what not to do as well. Just be patient. Um, everyone's saying hello. Lots of hellos. Uh, sweet potatoes are usually ready to harvest just as the ends of the vines begin to turn yellow, or or just before the frost. So same with potatoes. Okay, there's a good tip for sweet potatoes. Um, it was 40p for four massive bowls, and the cloves were massive. Also, you might have got elephant garlic. Uh, elephant gar-
Damn.
Elephant garlic's not a true garlic. It's more. Slow down. Dave, I need to read those comments, so don't change the channel. So don't change it. Um, yeah, it's more elephant garlic's more of a leek rather than a. Don't do that. I've got loads of buckets of potatoes that I've cut the tops off, but I haven't turned them out yet. Oh, so there's going to be some potato reveals coming up soon. Then get your feet down. 40 ginger plants vary in size. The tallest is about 2.5 foot down to 6 inches. Then in three wooden planters, 4 by 2.5 foot outdoors. Um, I think I think 2 foot, 2.5 foot is still quite a small plant for ginger. Once they get going, they're hitting about 5 foot tall. And one plant will send out multiple stems, so not just one or two stems. So if you've got 40 ginger plants in that sort of space, then I assume that each one's sending out one or two stalks when they should be sending out lots. Um, I'm not sure how much ginger will have formed by now. You'll need to keep them warm over winter. You'll need to keep that soil from freezing and getting soggy over winter if you want them to come back. But if you can, what I'd do is um, when the plant starts turning, if you can scoop a couple out, put them in pots, and bring them indoors, and then you'll protect them. Hit the likey thummy, guys, everyone. Thank you very much. Nick, not a problem at all, man. Not a problem at all. Shop bought garlic definitely works then. I thought it was a no-no. I don't think so. I think shop bought garlic does okay. I mean, the only thing about whenever you buy certified seed, the thing that you're paying for is the guarantee of disease free. So that's the thing that you're paying for. I got no dead potatoes to reveal, but the wife kept buying potatoes. Yeah, see, if anyone saw my potatoes grown in wood chips video, we had some brilliant, mashallah. So we found some we got some brilliant potatoes, and so much fun harvesting them. Absolute craziness, just absolute mentalness. um, Old Money, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping well. If anyone hasn't hit that like for me, please hit that like. Let's get that like count up a little bit. Ray, I hear you spent 4 hours cutting down sycamore tree branches on Thursday and then chopping them and bagging them up to go to the tip. If you've been chopping up branches, I wouldn't send them to the tip. I'd be if you try and compost them. If you can chip them, then chip them. But if you can't, just leave them in a pile in the corner of your garden. They'll rot. Sycamore rots down quite quickly. So even if you've got branches say 3-4 inches thick, they'll rot down within a year or so. They'll rot down. Wait, I'm way behind in the chat, so you need to read everyone's comments and give them an answer. Otherwise, so I think I missed some comments there. Let's go back up. I did music garlic for the last 2 years. I think I need to switch it up. What's music garlic? Soft neck garlic, the kind usually found in supermarkets, and often imported as the best storage life and easier to breed than hardnecks.
Dad's missing all the
But
comments
hard,
that other people are
yeah, but
doing.
I'll get to them. I'll get to them.
You're getting more behind the chat.
I'll get to them. Don't worry. Hardneck garlic sometimes is supposed to be more flavoursome as well. Um,
People don't care about what they're saying.
okay, sit up. Hajra Begum's here. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thanks very much for coming in. I could believe the size of the cloves I had to be in. Okay, so they're probably elephant garlic. I can't wait to harvest my red potatoes in the back. What have I missed about Aldi? There's some comments about Aldi garlic. See, I'm at the bottom now. Don't worry.
What should I do?
Uh, so what did I miss about Aldi? Just join in the chat here.
What should I do?
So I saved the branches from the sycamore trees. See, yeah, just leaving them as a pile in the garden, you'll increase, you'll make it. You'll just create a wildlife area. I see a lot of people building wildlife things. Do you know? Someone posted a nice picture of how he's made a really intricate bug hotel from pallets and things with drilled holes and all sorts of stuff. Just leave a pile of sticks and leaves and stuff that you haven't disturbed. That'll grow. That'll be work just as well. So Toyib's asking what should he draw. Can you give him some ideas of something to draw?
Good thing.
Did you have fun at Zaki's birthday today?
Things to do.
Did you
It
have
was
fun?
right here at my house.
Yeah. So did you have fun?
Yes.
Yes. We have an Asian grocer in town, maybe better than the main supermarkets, perhaps. Definitely. I mean, especially for garlic, it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. Aldi sell really big hardneck garlic bulbs. Ah, okay. So, what do you need? Oh, you want your cake? Go get another slice of cake. Go on. You've been waiting for that second slice of cake. Well, I say second slice of cake. Do you? Frank says draw a mask. No. Um. So he's going for his second slice of birthday cake. Yeah, I say second slice, but he's had about two or three slices already. Um, can you say I'm gonna eat mash? It wasn't this one; it was the other one. uh, uh, G- Jeannie, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Um, I would like you to draw a helicopter flying over a forest. He's disappeared now, so um, the girl gardener's here. Sorry, I'm late to the party. I had to get the kids to bed. Uh, Not a problem at all. Better late than never. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you're keeping well. So the girl gardener does loads of stuff on Instagram. She's absolutely yeah, loads and loads of posts and quite a lot of inspirational posts on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, that's one to check out. Brooklyn Giraffe is here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Uh, let's see what. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get out into the garden tomorrow and get some work done. I want to try and get as much work done as I can because I've got to take it easy from next week. Frank, I've got to start shielding from next week as well. I'll go into hospital on Monday for some spinal injections. So some steroid injections into my spine. So one of the warnings that they've given me is that uh, there's a high risk of susceptibility to COVID after you've had these injections. But how high the risk is, they won't tell me. But they've told me to shield for at least 4 to 6 weeks afterwards. So I'm gonna be in your boat, Frank. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting because I'm coming up to yeah. I don't want to. Winter's winter, autumn, and winter. This is the time for a lot of the hard work in the garden for me because it's the time that we're mulching beds, we're getting deliveries of wood chips and doing stuff like that. So it's quite a very very busy time at the moment. So let's see let's see what happens. Um, Thanks everyone. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. I mean, I've had them before. I mean, I haven't had them for a long time, but I've had them. I've had them before.
Had what?
My the injections in my back. Um,
Lucky had an injection. He didn't cry, and then when he was free, he just said, "Ah." That's all he said.
oh, so Tim, the mash girl's here. Did you get your mash?
What
Did
do you
you
mean?
the mash the other day when we pulled the potatoes? You said you wanted mash.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like
shift
mashed
over this
potatoes.
side.
I would eat it
Um,
with my hand like it's rice.
so made some spicy zucchini chips this week.
Who's
Did you fry
Idaho?
them?
Who's what is
Idaho.
what's that mean?
Idaho Garden Girls here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping well. Yeah, steroids can reduce your defenses. Don't ignore the warnings. Um, I'm gonna try not to, Frank, but this is the worst time as well. Do you know, because coming up to um, from sort of end of September or October onwards, it's the time. It's my busiest period at work as well. So from October to January, that's my really busy time at work. So a lot of people will be asking for appointments, wanting to see me. So it can get it's going to be I think it's going to be quite difficult. Um, So everyone's saying hello to the Idaho garden girl. Your immune system will be down, quarantine. Susie, that's what they're saying. That's what the doctors have been saying. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be all right. I think I'll be fine. uh,
What's Oslo?
da, 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 da.
What's Oslo?
Oslo. Hello from Oslo, Norway. Oslo's in Norway. It's a city.
Isn't that a country?
Norway's the country. Oslo's the city.
Oh.
Come on, join in.
Elmo?
Um,
What's Elmo?
there's a suggestion to you: a helicopter flying over a forest. You could draw that.
Use your imagination, people.
That is the imagination. I think that's quite cool. Come on. Why don't you do Superman flying over a forest or Spider-Man swinging from some trees? Come on.
Wait, but you know when
Um,
Spider-Man's in the sky, what does it, he needs to spray, he needs to
hang
do
on
that,
something. Yeah.
what does he hang to? He just does it to the sky and
Yeah.
it sticks to the cloud.
You could do it onto some trees. You want
He goes higher than the trees. He goes way higher.
and you wanted to dig your garden. Maybe rent out a little.
do it on the planes.
Maybe rent out a little machine. I've
Oh,
bad
you
back pain.
spiders.
Please be wise. I have to build very, very high beds or permaculture plants. Yeah. The thing is, I mean,
MySpace.
why don't you budge up on both of you getting? Yeah. Let me turn around. Let me turn around.
What's
Let me turn around so I can sit properly.
What? What's Tintin? MySpace. Look, it says Tintin.
Okay, wait. Sit up. Sit up. Can you guys? Let me see.
Tintin?
Tintin's a cartoon.
Oh.
It's a cartoon that we grew up with.
What's it about?
It's about a guy who goes on adventures with his dog Snoopy or Snowy or so. Yeah, Snowy. It's what's going on. Let's see. It's wonderful. She's reading a book. My son acts like I killed his dog when I tell him to pick up a book. I think I missed the start of that comment, so I'm not sure what's happened there.
Wait, there's a comment over there. Okay, go down a little.
And if anyone wants to follow me on Instagram as well, that'll be good. Because I'm just trying to get you up. It's because of your old bones. You hurt when you sit on my lap because of your old bones, mate.
And skin.
Yes, skin and bones. I spent most of the whole day cleaning the garden. Wanted to pull the aubergine plants out, but there's a lot more little aubergines growing. I think you'll still be all right with aubergines. I don't think the nighttime temperature's too cold yet. It's getting cold, but I think you're still, I mean, I'm risking my tomatoes outside because I still think it'll be okay. But any signs of blight and they're all the tomatoes will be pulled. Richard said, "Why don't you draw a sunset?"
No.
No. Okay.
Oh yeah,
So
come here. I need you to do
Spider-Man
something.
spinning a web around a helicopter, pulling it over to safety. There's a good idea.
That would actually seem like he's trying to get
Like he did it in one of those episodes where he saved the helicopter from falling off the bridge. Or he saved some.
Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah, there you go.
He stopped it from falling on a school when Venom collapsed it.
So there you go. You know what I'm talking about.
But yeah. Can you shout like happens?
Yeah.
No.
The pages are falling out. So one of my grandsons hates reading. I've introduced him to Tintin. I'm lucky that these two are quite like reading, don't you?
Yeah. I want more books. There's a new mini fan book
So
coming out.
this one's into.
I want to get I want to read Avatar books and the comics and the Mega Robo Bros series. It's about two brothers who are robots and they're the most powerful robots on Earth, and they have to, and they've got superpowers, and they have to fight another robot with a phone that can control technology. He makes a bunch of other robots with guns and stuff.
See, old one is saying Avatar is awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
Who?
So
Avatar is awesome.
So just sit up a second. So today I've tidied up the hedges, the lawn,
We're
the front
watching
garden.
it again for the
I'm
third
hoping to do the
time.
back garden tomorrow, weather permitting. Are you lucky? Yeah, I'm hoping to get the hedge trimmed, but the engine's blown up on my hedge trimmer. The hen, engine's blown up on my hedge trimmer last week or the week before. So my engine arrived. A new engine arrived yesterday, so I've got to fit that first. So if I
The
can manage,
Avatar film isn't good.
if I can manage to fit the hedge trimmer without it blowing up in my face, then I think I'll get the
No
hedges
one
trimmed
likes the
tomorrow.
Avatar film.
Nobody likes the Avatar
Okay.
movie. It's so
So
short. It only
oh,
gets up where you
okay.
go
Sit
to
down. Sit down. Sit down. Stop leaning
Southern
on me.
Watchfire, to
Stop
the
leaning.
Northern
Stop
Watchfire.
leaning on me.
It only
Uh,
has the
when
Boy
we
and the
okay,
Iceberg,
wait.
the Avatar
So
Returns,
look,
the Southern Air Temple,
stop.
Imprisoned,
My wife works in the pain management team that gives those injections. I need one for my knee, but can't have one.
Why?
the Bruce. It only has
Do you know? You saying Asterix the Goal? Is that Asterix and Obelix? Because I used to like Asterix and Obelix, the cartoon. Brian from Allotment Life is here.
the
Brian.
Avatar movie only includes 7 episodes from season
Okay,
1,
stop.
and they forgot about the other 13.
Brian, you have been missed. You have been
Who's
missed, Brian. I hope you're keeping well, and it's good to see you back. Stop. Okay. Um. Yeah, if anyone wants to follow My Family Garden on Instagram as well, yeah, you can do. It'll help.
Need some ideas to draw
Sit up.
still. Look, I bought this.
Ow!
Sorry, Dad. Sorry.
No, hang on.
Your face.
So that's how we get injured around here. Did you find a saddle for your pony fly, Brian? That was naughty. See, there's this little black and white fly, right? It's not a horse fly, but it's
What's
not.
a fly?
It looks a bit like a beetle, and do you know when it bites? It's a bitey fly, and you can see its jaw going. What are you doing?
I'm trying to look
Okay.
in your eye. Because I don't show one in my eye. I just looked in the mirror. It was all red, all these red things.
So I've been bit quite badly by those things, and they blister up
I
whenever
need
they bite
something
me.
to draw.
They've given you lots of ideas for some things to draw. So if you don't want to take their
Yes,
ideas,
I'm
then,
talking about the same film.
so if you words with pictures is a good way into reading.
Frank, I'm talking about the film where the fighting is too slow.
Breathe RC, thank you very much for that lovely compliment, and thank you very much for the support. Really appreciate it. Just had a salad. My tomatoes and beetroot taste lush. See, do you know shop bought tomatoes? I can't eat them. They just taste minging, I think. But the garden tomatoes, I mean, I'll pick them up and I'll eat them raw without any. Do you know? Stop ripping it because you're gonna destroy your bulk.
I'm doing it with the metal.
Yeah, you're gonna destroy it and then you're gonna cry that it's destroyed. So stop picking it.
What should I draw?
They've told you about 100 things and you've said no to everything. So don't keep asking if you're not gonna listen to anything. Reading is great for your brains, kids. Keep up the good work. There you go. You've got lots of choices. You've got choices. Draw the Spider-Man saving the helicopter.
Alien planet.
Yeah, there you go. Alien planet.
I'm only drawing the alien planet.
Oh, Frank is going to draw the alien planet. There you go. Going on 4 p.m. here in New York. Time to pick dinner for the garden. Love these chats. Susie, you take care, and we'll see you. We'll see you again soon. Where are we?
There's a new Amelia Fang book coming out. It's called Troubled Toads. I like Amelia Fang and Horrid Henry.
Oh,
And Rainbow Magic.
yeah, she's a big fan of
I like comics.
Amelia Fang and Horrid Henry.
I like
the whole
comic books
collection.
And Taib's a fan of Captain Underpants.
And also comic books
And comic books.
superhero
And
books.
comic books, superhero books.
I'm
See,
going to get the whole collection on Mr. Gum. And rainbow
with me,
magic.
my thing is let them read anything that they want to, anything they've got any sort of interest in. Just let them read it,
I'm
and
gonna
then
draw a planet full of cartoon
once they
heroes.
get that command of the language, and
I'm gonna draw a planet full of
they'll be
cartoon heroes.
they'll be flying. So draw a bog cake. What's a bog cake?
It's a bucket.
I'm drawing a
I
planet
think
full
you
of
might have meant.
cartoon
I think
heroes.
you might have meant big cake. Uh,
Baba, Baba, you know my purple mash. Is it okay if I save some plain, just I
I'm
haven't
gonna draw
coloured
a planet
anything.
full
I
of
just save it, then I can colour it in real life.
that's a good idea.
Print it.
That's a good idea. Uh,
Or just a house full of a bunch of Nickelodeon cartoons.
it's okay.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna draw
I will try to update this week. Thanks for the prod. Lunch today: homegrown lettuce, cut and come again. Homegrown tomato, black Crimea with some cheese on homemade bread. That's one thing that I don't do. Do you know homemade bread? See, I don't mind making chapatis and making naans and things like that, but proper actual bread. I've never made homemade bread, so that's one thing that I need to do actually. I need to have a go at that, but that sounds nice. Yeah, I told them about Zaki's birthday and he's 3.
What's the night? What's the life called?
It's just called My Family Garden.
Why can't you name anything else?
The R.I.P.
Uh,
Styles.
So welcome to the world is here. Welcome to my world is here. Hello,
What?
thank you very much for coming in. What's that? I planted ginger
She
based on
makes a
your.
little
Hang on.
melody
Heather
really.
Casey saying I planted ginger based on your video earlier in the year. It's in my greenhouse and growing well. Can I overwinter it? You can overwinter it, but you have to keep it. You have to keep the soil from getting soggy, from getting frozen, getting hit by frost. In the greenhouse, it's going to be harder than if you did it inside. What will happen is in about December, January time, the plant will naturally start to die back, and then if you keep it,
Done.
take your time with it. And
I
if you,
I did a
okay,
some
just
of
one
it.
second. Let me finish what
It's
I'm
a
saying.
spider planet.
If you keep it well drained and frost free, it should grow back in about May time once it starts to warm up again. What about a football match drawing?
I'm drawing a spider planet. I'll do a football match after.
He's drawing a spider planet and he's going to draw a football match after. I lost about 3/4 of my tomatoes to blight. The ones that look okay so far are in the greenhouse, and I'm not going to even open that door. If you can, try and increase the airflow. So if you've got any things like if you've got excess leaves, get rid of some of those. Um, top, cut the tops off the plant. Completely top the plant. Take off any dead flowers. That'll encourage anything that's left on the plant to ripen.
Then I did a spider creature flying.
Porter, farmers here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for joining us all the way from Florida.
I'm gonna draw a football match now with of Pokemon.
This channel is great. Bare knuckle fighting and Monty Cops in the face.
Team Rocket versus
Brian, we went mushroom hunting in the woods yesterday, and what they did was my wife, my nieces and my nephews. So there was how many of them? 7 of them chasing me around with acorns, lobbing acorns at my head. So that's what their idea of fun is. Jeannie,
talking on the
see, Jeannie, I think I need to try what you've done, because Zaki got some walkie-talkies for his birthday and Khadija got some walkie-talkies for her last birthday. So we've got 4 walkie-talkies in the house. So I said, right, if you want to play walkie-talkies,
I only have 3 walkie-talkies because I can't find my one.
if you want to play walkie-talkies, get into the woods, and then just run riot, and then you can hide and chase each other and find each other and do that sort of thing.
I'm gonna draw Teen Titans go versus Teen
Hang on,
Titans.
did you have fun in the woods
Yes.
running around? There you go. See, it's good to be outside, isn't it? It's better than sitting on a phone or sitting in front of a TV.
No, actually, it isn't better.
Yes, it is, mate.
Reading a book is better than all of them.
Yeah, but
I like the
just
one.
think about if you could read a book while you're running around playing with your walkie-talkies.
No, that's not possible.
uh, I make it from scratch into rustic rolls for the freezer. I need to have a go at this bread making lark. Um, I found two small tomato plants growing in a container. Seeds must have fallen in somehow. I know I should have weeded them out, but I feel so guilty. How big are they? And where? How far into your season are you? If you've got a chance of them producing something, I'd keep them. I left a stray tomato plant grow like that, and I've got some tiny black cherries tomatoes. It's got about 4 or 5 trusses on that plant. I just left it because like you, I thought I haven't. Well, by the time I'd noticed it, it was about a foot tall,
Dad,
and I thought
should I draw a
if it's
flip book?
you can do. I thought if it's made it this far, if it's made it to a foot tall, I'm not going to be the one who's going to destroy it.
It's gonna be destroying itself because it's gonna die.
uh, Thanks for the answer on the ginger, by the way. Love hearing the kids talking about wanting to read and draw. Great dad to encourage the reading.
He didn't. I just wanted to read
And
because it was
not being
happy.
well. Apparently, I didn't encourage them to read. I've done nothing to help them at all. And yeah, I've never done anything for you ever.
To help me read.
I've never done anything to help him
My
read.
mom helped me read as homework in nursery.
It was just your mum, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I've never helped them read, guys. I wish we could grow tomatoes. I wish we could grow tomatoes all year round. I've turned into a big fan of them. F- Up until a few years ago, I wouldn't eat tomatoes, and I struggled with growing tomatoes for a long time. Up until about 3 or 4 years ago, where I just had really good crops, and I started to get the hang of it. Um, I've got black spots, mold, I suppose, on my tomatoes. I suppose it's okay to eat it if I cut off the bad parts. Mold should most of the mold should just wash away, and you should be able to remove the damaged part. Black spots depends on what the black spots are. I mean, if it's blighty stuff, then cut them off. If it's just black spots from damage, then I won't worry about it. Do you know, like if it's black spots from it getting knocked by something, I wouldn't worry about that. I own my own recipe, though it took ages. See, it's all this bread making, and I'm getting hungry when I'm hearing about it. Um, I forgot about that for a
I'm
second. I
gonna
was
do my drawings
giving
like
them
a
a good
comic
pruning,
book
but I'll
now.
open up the door tomorrow. It's already
Dad,
got. Um, I don't think when I'm talking about the airflows, I'm talking about the airflow within the around the plant itself. As long as you've got lots of the plant can breathe. Even if you keep the greenhouse door closed or something like that, as long as the plant can breathe, then and it's not getting too moist around that specific plant because the air can get damp around the plant, and that's one of the things the humidity can cause the blight. Now I'm retired, I can spare the time to make it myself. Okay. Uh, See,
Dad,
everyone's sharing their
Dad.
bread making recipes. Gee,
Cyborg threw it out of the pitch, so
okay, fill the whole page. Don't just draw in one corner. Use the whole
I
paper.
am.
Okay,
The
good.
other part is going to be the football field. He's just
Um,
kicking it out because he's trying to. He won't want. He doesn't want the team
is
titles
it
coming
worth
from
overwintering chili
other
plants or
people's titles.
sow new next season?
Mm.
Um, if you're able to overwinter them, I'd say overwinter them. I'd say depending on how many you've got, I'd overwinter at least a couple, because you'll get a head start on the season. No matter if you grow a chili from seed, say that you plant it in January, February, it's not going to start flowering until May, June at the earliest. You're not going to get fruit till Augustish. Whereas, depending on the variety, some are a little bit earlier, but if you've got an overwintered plant, you can probably end up with fruits in June. I've seen people do it, and especially if you're growing the super hots, they actually produce better in the second year. than in the first. So if you're growing things like Naga, if you're throwing things like Scotch, anything hotter than a Scotch bonnet, then I'd definitely say try and overwinter them. It's definitely a good idea. Um,
My T-Rex drawers aren't changing,
I grew a
so
few varieties of tomatoes this year. B&Q multi-pack. Wanted to experiment with varieties not found in supermarkets next year. Any suggestions? Um, Gardener's Delight's a very good, reliable one. It's one that never let me down. Um, San Manzano, I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. That's a really nice long. It's a plum tomato. Very, if you're cooking with tomatoes, that's a really good one for
I'm
it.
gonna draw
Um,
shadows too.
there's one called Sweet Million or Sweet Million or something like that. It's something similar. I didn't have the seeds this year, but 2 years ago I grew them, and do you know how you get a normal truss of flowers and it's spread and it's just one line of flowers, right? These ones sort of branched off. The truss branched off into three or four different trusses, so you ended up with like 20 tomatoes on a single truss. They're not massive, but absolutely brilliant producer. Sweet Million or something like that. The name was. I need to find those seeds again. I'm gonna go back through my back, my back orders and see what it was that I actually ordered, so I can get some more seeds. Uh, Heather, just being happy. No, hang on. Let's go back. I missed a comment there. My tomatoes have been slow to ripen this year, only just getting red ones over the last few weeks. When did you plant them, Nick? Just by being happy for them to read whatever they want to read is encouraging. I spent a lot of time, with them, with books, reading to them, getting them to read, but I get told quite a bit that I don't do enough for them. Do you grow?
Don't buy
Do
us
you,
enough books.
I had loads of rhubarb. We had loads of Richard. We had loads and loads of rhubarb.
Dad,
And we had so much rhubarb we didn't know what to do with it, and we
who should I draw next?
so I've built. Gee,
Would you pick an old cartoon or the reboot?
old cartoons always better.
Yeah,
Uh,
I like the reboot better. The reboot
um,
better
so
isn't good enough.
I don't because we grew a lot and we didn't really have any use for it, so I stopped growing it. It's one of those things that
Dad, who
it's a
should I
nice
draw
one,
from Teen
and I
Titans
grow it,
now
and I
so you
used to
can
grow it
spoil
just
it?
to give it away, but yeah, we don't grow much anymore. I've got one or two stray plants, but it's just more to give away than to use ourselves. I'm just doing my garden and done videos. I'm going for a no dig and buckets. Nice one. Um, very well done. Good. Join the group and put up some pictures. Yeah, we've got a Facebook group. My Family Garden hashtag Team Spanner. Uh, yeah, so if you wanna come along and join the chat over there, it's a nice friendly little group. No politics, no bullying, none of that sort of stuff. None of the
No
up.
one likes
Yeah,
bullies.
it's a nice friendly place to be. Sophia, try a black Crimea, a beautiful sweet variety, but dark at the top, unusual. That's one that I fancy trying actually. Yeah. I want to try some more of uh, the the um, the beefsteaky tomatoes. Do you like the Marmandi types?
I'm gonna show Yasin and Yusuf this drawing.
I probably completely butchered that name.
Dad,
In my
should I show Yasin and Yusuf this drawing?
Yes, I think you should. Um, Richard have some rhubarb that is thick and lush. It's called Victoria, one of the best varieties. I was lucky a friend gave it to me.
Yasin drew someone from anime like 2 days ago.
Just built my own greenhouse, 10 foot by 6 foot. Nice, well done. Uh, I built my own my greenhouse is a DIY job. Um, build a nice greenhouse with half the less than half the price of something that you'd buy. If I bought my greenhouse, it'd cost a couple of grand. I think it's about
Dad,
3 meters by 2.5 meters across. Um,
do you think my drawing
yeah,
skills are getting better?
yeah, I think it.
What's
I think they're good when you take your time.
Dad, what's a cartoonist?
Cartoonist is someone who makes cartoons,
Like drawings?
drawings, designs them, does all that sort of stuff.
Like
Uh,
an animator?
I made bread in a bread maker before. It's still lots of practice because it doesn't come out light and fluffy, more like a heavy loaf, which is nice for toast but not sandwiches. Okay, so it's a bit harder than just sticking it in a tin and putting it in the oven. um, did anyone try to make jam with grapes and rhubarb? Don't know what to do with all those grapes. I just like grape jelly. See, if we had a ton of grapes in our house, they'd be gone in no time. These lot, you love eating raw grapes, don't you? Zaki loves them as well.
I know them huge ones I've especially like that
Yeah,
ones.
the huge grapes. Um, let's see where we are. So the girl gardener, we loved here. My bread maker broke. That's why I started doing it by hand. Tried lots of different methods. The wetter the dough, the better. Okay, there's some good tips. I'm gonna have a go at this bread making stuff. I've managed to overwinter chilies. I've never managed to overwinter chilies or peppers. It's hard to keep them warm enough and dry
And it's
enough
hard
without keeping them
to
indoors.
not sneeze.
See, Nick, I think that's the only option.
It's my
Um,
half moon holiday
I think
girls.
the only option is to keep them indoors. In the UK, the only option, unless you've got a heated greenhouse, the only option is to keep them indoors. I've tried overwintering them in the greenhouse last year.
No
They all
plants
died.
die in winter?
Some do. They all died. But I managed to overwinter a couple in the house. But yeah, the only option is to overwinter them in the house. Um, uh, go, so, you meant to say when we moved, not okay. Also, allow the bread to grow in a warm place for at least a couple of hours. Um, keep trying different bread recipes. Keep it simple. You get there, but keep a note each time so you can don't repeat it, or you can repeat it. Um, don't forget to click the like button. Absolutely, people. If you haven't hit that like for me, please hit that like. Started tomato seeds off in March. See,
Dad, can we put my
we,
picture on the group?
we Nick, that's what normally happens
Dad,
to
can
us.
you put my picture on the group?
Yeah, that's what normally happens for us, Nick. We start off in March, April time, and the tomatoes grow. But the one because we grow most of our tomatoes outside, by this time we're hit with blight and and they don't really produce. So we planted most of our tomatoes in January. When I found out most of the tomatoes were one or two varieties, and all the sort of individual. I'm not very good at labeling stuff and remembering names, and all the sort of different varieties that I'd grown for something different, I'd given away to people. So when I noticed that, I quickly sort of a second sowing of some yellow pear tomatoes, and some something else I can't remember what they're called. They're growing in the greenhouse. Uh, so yeah, there's the Facebook group. Sophia shared the Facebook group. So if you're not a member of it, come along and join in the chat over there as well. My Bangla Garden, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thanks very much for coming in. Just about to go to Salah, but noticed you live. Uh, where I'm falling behind the chat again. No, thanks for stopping in. I invested in a 3x3 poly tunnel for the garden. It will make it easier to keep an eye on my seedlings before they get to the allotment. Are you going to keep your allotment now that you've got your new garden, Brian? a good idea for greenhouses. The foil tunnels that you can move. You screw it to the soil, but you need a good quality one. Phil Clare has made in my area. The foil tunnels. I've not heard of the foil. What are the foil tunnels?
What's a foil tunnel?
I don't know. Uh, I wanted to do the sunflower channel this year, but just didn't work out for me. I hope you do it again next year. We had a miserable time with sunflowers. See, our sunflowers have all got ravaged by slugs, and we've got a few small heads. The tallest plant was about 5 foot, so it was. We're not, yeah, we're not happy with the sunflowers we got this year. Um, yeah, Richard Louis, thanks. Yeah, okay. Harissa is excellent hot sauce for eggs. One There's some bread recipes. What strong flours? Okay. The thing about bread makers is everything is pre-timed, meaning you can't adjust anything, so your ingredient measurements must be accurate, otherwise it will adversely affect the loaf. Um, would polytunnel. Okay. Yeah, Isabel, you don't need to apologise at all. I think your English is fantastic. Yeah, absolutely spot on. Um, but yeah, polytunnels, like a greenhouse. Sometimes I think the Americans call them hoop houses. So they're like hooped, but rather than a greenhouse being either made of glass or plastic, this is like a plastic sheeting that's put over some hoops, and it just gives you that warmth. More chance of adjustment in making bread by hand. Just did a very decent gourd harvest. My brother reached 30 plus, so brought motivation into get into winter gardening. Nice. I've not had a good gourd season. We've had a few gourd. We've picked about 7 or 8. Something around that mark. The winds have really hit us quite bad. Um, Sophia, you take care. I didn't. I've just looked at the time, and we're well past our normal finish time. It's been a good chat. I think it's been a good chat. It's been warm. It's always warmer in Brum than it is up north. But do you know our garden really suffers with the winds. We get hit by the winds, and when it's windy, all our plants get damaged. I mean, I'm trying to. My trees are growing to start giving us some shelter from the winds, but yeah, we always struggle. Right, guys. I just looked at the time, and it's 20 past 8 nearly. So I think I've made up well. I've well made up for my 5 minutes lateness today. So I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Thanks for coming and joining us. It's been a blast. Really enjoyed it. You guys take care.
I'm almost done with
Assalamu
my
alaikum
picture. I
warahmatullah.
only need to